Sports with Mike Stanley. Brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. Today I have my co-host back with me, Andrew Briggs. Andrew, thanks for coming back on with us, man.
Good to be back.
Today we're going to break down the big win that Jefferson County had over Grace Christian Academy on Friday night. We'll also kind of go into this coming week as they travel to Carter at 7:30 at Carter High School. Andrew, just kind of tell me what you saw on Friday night.
Friday night, I thought Jeff County came out really assertive, coming to prove a statement that they weren't a joke, that all this, they were put last year behind them, and that they came this year to play. And I thought there were some big performances out there, and the whole team contributed very well.
Yeah, I think, everybody in Jefferson County was high on Jefferson County.
Mm-hmm.
But you get outside of Jefferson County, and there was a lot of question marks, a lot of doubt about this team. And I think Friday night they put a lot of those to rest.
Yeah, a lot of people just thought they were. Everybody in Jefferson County thought they were good, like you said. But that showed, like in Knoxville, the New Sentinel pit, nobody picked them to win against Grace. I mean, that just shows you that nobody really knew what they were about, and that their players had worked hard during the summer and came out ready to prove that they were no joke.
Yeah. Well, talking to McKinney last week, he had said, these guys have prepared like a team that is ready to prove something. And I'll have to be honest with you. People were asking me, what do you think about the game last week before the kickoff? And I was like, I think it's going to be a good game. I said, I do think Jefferson County is going to win. I do think it's going to be a close game. If you would have told me Jefferson County was going to almost hang 50 on them, beat them by 4 touchdowns, I would have said, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was coming. I remember looking at the scoreboard, it's 41-14. I was like, oh my gosh, we're putting it on them.
Yeah.
But that was just, I didn't expect it at all, about like everybody else did.
Right. I think it was very important, the crowd that was there. I mean, it was almost a sellout stadium. The stadium was full. The energy in the stadium was probably second to none in the area this weekend. I can only remember one time when I was playing there that it was like that, and that was when we were ranked number 4 or 5 in the state, and Dobbins Bennett was ranked number 1. Dobbins Bennett came to Jefferson County, and the stadium was electric that night. But other than that, I don't remember it being like that in years past.
Yeah, the fans were definitely electric, but I think it was just everybody was ready to see what they were really about, and if they were going to be like everybody had talked about in the county, that they were going to be good. And then I think that game was important for their next home game. I think it might be more everybody coming out to see how they'll keep going in the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be very important to get another win this week against Carter because after that, they go to Morristown West, they go to Maryville before getting William Blunt on a short week, before that or after that. Now, I guess talking more about the Grace game. Offense. There was a lot of offense specifically on Jefferson County side.
Yeah, offense was very key for us. They came down and they scored first, and everybody's kind of like, eh. And then our offense came marching right down and scored again, or scored their first touchdown. And then they just kept rolling by big plays after another. Mm-hmm. And I thought Austin threw it really good as a quarterback, and then Noah and our running backs and everybody made big plays on the offensive side.
Yeah, I think Grace kind of keyed on Gurrell, being he is 6'3", 200 pounds, extremely fast. But that left holes open everywhere else for everybody else. Austin had lanes to throw, like you said, to Noah. The first touchdown of the game for Jefferson County, where Noah takes a little 5-6 yard crossing route, 52 yards to the house, makes a little spin move about the 10-yard line. That is really what got the crowd into the ballgame.
Yeah, that got everybody in the game as it did the players too. I think they got hyped up after that one, and that carried on to the defense. And then the offense, the fans got really excited when Noah made that play. And like you said, they were really keying in on Gurrell, and that brought Noah, who's a really good playmaker and is extremely good, open, and he just made plays.
Well, I think what surprised a lot of people was the offensive line play. The running backs had holes most of the night. Tracy Mills had an outstanding game, 118 yards on 10 carries. And, of course, Dalton Morgan had 68 yards as well. They were able to run the ball very, very efficiently, and I think that kind of surprised me more so because you knew coming in Jefferson County was going to throw the ball with Austin at quarterback, and you got 2 great wide receivers. You knew they were going to throw the ball. Now, how were they going to run the ball was the question, and I think they answered it well on Friday night.
Yeah, I think opening up too was that they threw it well and they started focusing more keenly on the pass more, and then that opened the run, and then you had both threats, so they couldn't really predict what was coming, and I think that helped a lot with the running game.
Yeah, well, I think too. What also helped with the running game was the screens that they had set up for the running backs out of the backfield. He hit Ely for the 58-yard down the home sideline there. You also had one to Dalton for 27 yards or something like that. I think just the game plan overall by Branton on offense really helped. And talking with Kenny last week, he said, we're going to be aggressive. We feel like if we're aggressive, there's not a whole lot of teams that can stop us. And Grace was one of those teams that could.
Yeah, I thought they had a really good game plan coming in to attack their defense early, and like they did, and I think that was the key to the game.
Yeah, well, I know we talk a lot about Jefferson County's offense. Their defense really was able, after those first two drives for Grace Christian, they got the 4-yard run and then the quarterback scamper in from about 13 yards out. Now, there were some miscommunications in the secondary early where Grace kind of missed. Austin Kirby missed his wide receivers, and they had some space. But other than that, to hold a team like Grace to under 300 yards of offense was just a great turnout for Jefferson County's defense. Particularly, you had Jonathan Royster in the secondary come up with 2 huge interceptions. Of course, Noah had a nice interception as well. But talk a little bit about. I know Noah Smiley had a big day on the defensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line, or defensive line, was extremely forceful. Like you said, Noah Smiley, he had a big day, and then Royster's 2 interceptions he had were, the last one just was incredible. It saved a touchdown. If that wide receiver comes up with that, that's a touchdown for them, and then he saved that one, and then Noah's 2, and the defense was just extremely forceful.
Yeah, not only that, if he doesn't intercept that ball, it makes the score 28-21. Grace is right back in the game, and who knows what can happen when you get a little momentum going your way. As Jefferson County saw, they got a little bit of momentum and blew the game wide open. And I think more impressively with Jefferson County's defense on the defensive line is that Grace Christian's offensive line was huge. I mean, they had a lot of guys, 6'4", 6'5", 285, something like that. One guy in particular, he's been to University of Tennessee a few times on visits, and he's a massive guy. And Jefferson County's defensive line was able to put pressure on Kirby and really have their way with that big of an offensive line.
Yeah, they had their way all night, and that just putting pressure on him allowed him not to make throws down the field and make big plays. That's where our offensive line did a good job and gave Austin a lot of time to make throws that he needed and see the field well as he was pressured and running around trying to make throws. And that showed that, when he threw into coverage where our guys were there, that was just very big.
After a quick word from our sponsor, Angie Cox State Farm in Jefferson City, we'll return with our Jefferson County Post Angie Cox State Farm Player of the Week. Here is Kenny Cobble and his comments after the big win against Grace Christian.
They had some misses early, but like you said, we regrouped. Jonathan Royster came in and made some great plays defensively and really stepped it up, got those turnovers, got us going. We felt like that if we could take charge at some point in the first half, that we could dominate the second half, and that's what happened.
So physical on the line, especially on that right side. You seem to, it seemed to be 3 yards before any of your guys ever got touched on that side, especially.
Yeah, it's we got some guys that have really been working for it. They've been pushing to this point, and I'm just really glad they were able to play well and execute and have this feeling. They deserved it.
That one touchdown, I don't know if it was a screen or a kind of a scramble, where Austin, he held on to the ball forever. Seemed like he had 3 or 4 guys. He just had to wait for the hit and got the ball out. And touchdown. Nobody was close to it.
It was a screen, and we had it. We've been so close on that play all the way through the preseason, and we finally hit it. It's been wide open just about every time we've lined it up, and we're finally able to connect on it tonight when it counted, so we're glad of that.
Well, talk about him and his play. Obviously, hard to find a flaw in tonight's performance from your quarterback, so just talk about him a little bit.
Well, Austin's a competitor. He came in last year came in a situation where he transferred schools, didn't get here till after school started, learned a new team, a new school, new coaching staff, and that was also his first year as a starter under the lights. So to see him come out this spring and this fall, be the leader that he is, he's woven himself into our school as just a leader all around. His decision making so much faster, his ability to get the ball out. He's a true leader on our football team. We appreciate it.
Talk about you guys. Last season, I'm sure this one did a good bit to get that out, taste out everybody's mouth.
Right.
And this kind of performance, what can this do for you guys going down the road?
Well, we needed something great to happen for us. We needed something to feel good about, and I think tonight's one of those things. But one thing that I'm learning about this football team is they're just very hungry. They're hungry to get better. We came in and at the huddle at the end of the game, they know we got things we got to work on. We got things we got to improve on, and they're hungry to do that. And win, lose, or draw, I'll take that bunch wherever we go.
Coach, we talked a little bit yesterday about you guys wanting to be aggressive on offense. You came out. That's exactly what you guys were. Talk a little bit about the mindset of the offense, specifically after Grace came out and scored first.
Well, I think that they were hungry. They were a little bit upset that I deferred. They wanted the football. So that mindset's great. Coach Branton's done a good job, and our offensive staff of injecting that mindset in them. They couldn't wait to get on the football field, and they were able to attack and execute. And that's the thing. Anything that we've struggled with this preseason, we felt like it was our doing. We weren't executing. We missed something here, we missed something there. So they were able to come out tonight and execute and clean everything up. It was nice to see.
It seemed like they maybe double covered Gurrell on some occasions. It left lanes open for Noah to get open and make plays. Talk a little bit about what Noah did tonight, and is that what he's expected to do?
Well, those guys are a great 1-2 punch, and teams are going to have some decisions to make. You're going to double Gurrell. Noah's a great athlete. You're going to double Noah, we're going to have Gurrell out there. You want to split people out and try to really get out of the box, we've got 3 or 4 tailbacks we can hand it to and let them be successful. So, it's something that we want to put pressure on people, be balanced, and those guys with their ability allow us to put pressure on people.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. Brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City, right off of Highway 92 in Jefferson City. Our Jefferson County Post Player of the Week this week is quarterback Austin Jenkins. Austin was 15 of 21 for 243 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win against Grace Christian. Austin, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, now talk a little bit about, Andrew and I have already hit on the aggressive play calling of Brandon in the offensive scheme this weekend. Talk a little bit about that and what that does to your guys' confidence.
It definitely raises it. We knew all week that we had a game plan that we liked. We run the type of offense where we decide that we want defenses to mold to us instead of us mold to defenses. When we look at, when we watch film, instead of trying to scheme for ways to beat certain coverages or alignments, we just look at ways where our plays now have a different read within it. We don't really, construct new types of offense for certain teams. We just mold ours to make sure that they have to shape back to us.
Mm-hmm. When I was showing you your stat line after the game, you kind of said to me, best thing about that is no interceptions. How much easier is it this year for you going into year 2 as a starting quarterback and in this offense? How much easier is it for you to read the defense?
The bar is raised so much higher just with my confidence. When you get so much more comfortable, it helps to make reads faster. And the faster that you can make those reads, the less turnovers you're going to have because you're more decisive with football.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the playmakers at wide receiver that you guys have with Noah and Gurrell.
They're dynamic. And then you've kind of got your 1-2 punch. You've got Gurrell, who's a big hitter. If they do not give you a double coverage look or an off look, Gurrell at any point can beat you deep. And you've got Noah, where if you do not scheme towards stopping Noah is going to get open. He's going to catch the ball, and then he's going to make guys miss. He's electric with football. And when you see a team like Grace wanting to bracket Gurrell, well, Noah Carter's going to have a field day. So it's exciting to see that. And we've got our complementary receivers like Cole Snowden had a couple catches last night in his first varsity starting receiver. When they start to play, 4 over 3 on Gurrell and Noah's side, you're going to see guys backside open, and they continue to make plays. We're going to be, a scary offense.
Yeah.
How much did that help you, like in the middle of the game? You know, you guys went down and scored, and then you had a drive that you didn't score. Kind of had a little drop pass there on third down, and then the next time you made a big play. How much did those big plays by Noah and the rest of your teammates help you in the flow of the game and get comfortable in the game?
The big plays take away all those reads and you have to make and all the opportunities to mess up. I always tell the kickoff return guys before they come in, I'm like, you know, if y'all take this from the house, I'm fine with it. You know, if I don't have to go out there, you know, and let's, you know, make those tough reads, you know, make those decisions, you know, I'm okay with it as long as we're scoring points.
Yeah.
Now, so you know, that's like I always joke with the running back. Sometimes, you know, I take a big hit or something else, like I'm gonna hand this one off. You go ahead and just take this in the house real quick, so I can go to the sideline. So Dalton Morgan usually takes care of me. So, you know, him and Ely on those screens last game, you know, they kind of got me off the field in a hurry.
Talk a little bit about your running backs this year. You guys got 3 running backs that can take it to the house on any given carry with Dalton Morgan, Tracy Mills, and of course Michael Ely with his speed. Talk a little bit about those guys that are in the backfield with you.
They are guys that can change a game in one play, and they are determined to never be brought down by one tackle. And you know, you see that at point of contact, it's like we're down around 3 opening drive. Dalton Morgan gets hit in the backfield, breaks one, still drop for a loss. Come out next play, pretty much from the same play, run the power to the left, bust it for 14. Now we're rolling.
Yeah.
All we had to do is get our, you know. So we see, you know, that with our guys, and we got down to the 1 at one point, putting Dakota Cody in. If we need 1 yard, Dakota's going to get it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got 220 pounds rolling downhill, moving pretty hard, and those legs don't stop.
Right.
And with Tracy and Neely, that's just electric speed. I mean, at any point that they get the edge, teams can be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, you talk a little bit about teams being in trouble. You get Carter this week.
Yeah.
Now they're not the powerhouse per se that Grace Christian is. They're still a good football team.
Oh yeah. They come in with the same MO that we kind of had at the beginning of the year. Everyone's kind of overlooking them.
Yeah.
They've worked hard. You see with their weight, you know, the weightlifting you see over the summer. They're one of the teams that's their prerogative. They want to come out and they're going to bust you in the mouth, and they have something to prove too. And they went out and beat a quality football team in Halls, and it's putting up 800 yards offense is hard to do, and they did it. So you know, you come out with a team like that that's defensively has got no all-state, no linebackers, junior Austin Howard. When you see guys like that on the field, you know, they're a confident football team too, especially coming off that win. So it's going to be a tough game. But I think as long as the offense is executing correctly, the defense is going to take care of itself. We've got playmakers over there that can really get us the ball back. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
What do you really think, like, the key going into this game, really, for your offense and really your team going into this game to get to a 2-0 start and then get a big start going into your next big game?
Everything starts with our line. Offensively and defensively, we're pretty stout up front. Offensive line, we see, you know, I took very few hits, you know, on Friday night, and it's always exciting, you know, when you sit back there and go 1, 2, 3, let it fly, and then nobody touches you, and you're kind of like, man, I love those guys. So you saw Harper Lang, Jacob Varney, Cameron Cody really make some big hits on the backfield on defense. So when you see those sacks, and those are big plays, big energy plays for the crowd, you know, and for our sidelines. So when the offensive line's churning like they are, and we're just moving the rock, running it, and then, you know, halftime and pass pro, and then the defensive line's making plays like that on their own, it gives opportunities for like our Roosters to make those picks and no pressure on the quarterback.
We kind of talked kind of off the air there about how Carter kind of runs the same style of offense that you guys run. Kind of talk a little bit about what maybe they do differently than say you do reading your reads in the backfield.
They don't do as many replacement routes as we do. We do a lot of run pass option, and that you'll see with nose crossing routes and stuff like that. That we at any point there's 3 things that can happen on a play, and we run a lot of complex reads, and a lot of their offense is you see the power run in their zone scheme. You'll see a direct deep ball, direct out routes. They also run a lot of screens. They against Halls, Austin Howard had 3 rushing touchdowns at quarterback. They put him in, power left, power right, and by Georgia running down in front. But they're still in the spread formation, you know, 2x2, which is similar to us, just in a different little philosophy of game plan.
Yeah. Kind of like a wildcat formation.
Kind of, right.
Yeah. I guess moving forward into as you go deeper into this season, of course the competition is gonna ramp up here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
Grace Christian was a great, I guess, to see where you guys kind of stack.
Oh, yeah.
Now knowing where you guys are, okay, you've played a game now. It's not talk.
Right.
It's not hype.
Right.
You know, how do you feel about the rest of the season moving forward when you got teams like Morristown West that has a great defense, as you saw last night against Fulton. You got Maryville, who is year in, year out, top notch, and then the teams like a Bearden, who at the beginning of the year kind of thought, hey, Bearden's one of those for sure wins. They took it to Carnes on Friday night.
Definitely, our schedule is difficult, but I think that you always hear about play the level of your competition. And you'll see when teams play bad teams, they play bad. Mm-hmm. Well, we definitely won't have that problem this year. Every Friday night you come out with the mindset, we have to execute at maximum level to come out and beat this team. And I think that with that mindset, with the work ethic we put in this summer, I think that our guys are ready to do that. And I think that you always want to play that game where you execute just top notch. Mm-hmm. That's what you strive for. Yep. So if you already have an opponent that's pushing you to do that, that's just even more motivation and even more just mental aspect of the game that, okay, let's get sharp, let's put it in. So when you've got teams like that, premier teams, I think it just makes the game better.
Yeah.
It's not as much about who you're playing, it's about more about yourself. We see as a team that less we turn the ball over, the more we make teams turn the ball over. We minimize on penalties, we can win football games.
Yeah. Well, and I think that holds true because if you look back to last year, you guys did that quite well. You played to the level of your competition.
Yeah.
Like you go back to and the Cobb County game, of course, comes to mind when they shouldn't even been in the ball game, and of course they are. And I think you can even see this year. Grace Christian ranked number 4 in 2A.
Right.
And you guys come out with that chip on your shoulder
right.
and took it to them per se.
Right. I mean, when you've got a team like that coming into your house, defend it. And that's pretty much what we did, and we do that every weekend.
Yeah.
Coach Caldwell stressed you guys you believe in blue and believe in your team. I know that's kind of it's a saying that you guys go by, but what is a thing that you think your team has to do going forward? Like one thing they have to execute better. Of course, you have things during the game that you didn't do the best.
Right.
So what's the one thing you think going forward your team has to do to keep playing the way you guys did Friday?
The biggest thing is we have to do our job. Sometimes offensively and defensively, you'll see that even at, my position of quarterback, I'll push. Mm-hmm. You get pushy, you get greedy, you want the deep ball.
Yeah.
You want that one so bad you drive a throw that you really shouldn't have drove. Mm-hmm. And you'll see on defense, you really thought you were going to get that pig, double move.
Yeah.
And when you see things like that happen, you do your job. That's what we saw last night. They're a run-heavy team. Our corners all week, okay, we're not going to be involved with the run very much. We're going to be back in coverage. That's our job. Mm-hmm. So, as long as we got burned a couple of times. But if we do our job, we don't cause foolish penalties. We don't jump off sides. We don't false start. We don't hold. We don't late hit. When things like that happen, it takes away morale from the team. Mm-hmm. When you minimize those, you stay on that roll and you can stay on your march.
Austin Jenkins, your Jefferson County Post, Angie Cox State Farm Player of the Week. Austin, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, when we return, we'll have our 5th quarter segment, which is brand new this season. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. And welcome to our 5th quarter. We will give you some games to watch, as well as our predictions for those games. Our first game this week will be Morristown West versus Greenville. Now, Morristown West had a hard-fought game against Fulton this past week, losing that game 12-9, and of course Fulton is Fulton. Haven't lost a game now in 37 games. Greenville with a very nice win this week by 3 touchdowns or so. Who you got, Andrew?
I think I'm going to have to go Morristown West. I just think since, they came off that tough loss, they're going to be Georgetown West is a very talented team. I think they're just going to be out for revenge and going to come out ready to play, especially at their home turf. And I think they'll beat Greenville.
I do too. I think Morristown West, this is a game for Morristown West where it's another tough game, much like the Fulton game, but I think they go out with something to prove this game because just the way they lost the Fulton game, with a fumble in the end zone, Fulton recovers it for a touchdown to win by 3. I think Morristown West is going to be a team that's going to have a little bit of chip on their shoulder. Our second game will be Sevier County at Knox West. Knox West, of course, coming off of a big game against Hardin Valley. It was on TV. And of course, Sevier County went down to Cleveland and maybe struggled a little bit.
Yeah. They struggled a lot. They weren't their best on the offensive side, which everybody was saying how good it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I do think that they'll come out and their offense will overpower
Knox West.
Mm-hmm. And that they'll beat them. I think so. I'm gonna go Sevier County.
I think Sevier County. Don't be surprised if Knox West does knock Sevier County off. But I think Sevier County, much like Morristown West, they're not happy with the way they played in week 1. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll come out with a little to prove, if you will. And I think, of course, you've got Deuce Wallace, Vanderbilt commit. You've got Devontae Matthews, who's just a great all-around athlete. And then, of course, Dorian Banks, who's committed to the University of Tennessee. Yeah. I think those guys are going to be like, listen,
it's time to go.
It's time to go, and then, of course, our last game for this week is Jefferson County at Carter. Jefferson County with a great win over Grace Christian. Mm-hmm. Carter with a fabulous win over a Halls team that I thought was probably a little better than Carter, but Carter was able to pull it off 46-36, and they have a lot of momentum going in as well. I like Jefferson County in this game simply because I don't know. They could play all season, and I'm talking Maryville, Morristown West. Morristown West got a great defense. They can play all season and still be able to put points on the board and put yards.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Jeff County too, just because I think our defense is. They have a good defense and good players on defense, but I think it's a little bit more well-rounded. And then our offense came in hot after that game and had a good performance. So I do think that they'll overpower Carter and win.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Andrew Cox State Farm in Jefferson City. For Andrew Briggs and Austin Jenkins, I'm Mike Stanley. Thank you guys for watching.
You can't be me.